See what happens.
All right, we're live.
Woohoo!
Oh, are
Woohoo!
we? Hi.
Yes,
Hi,
Hi,
sorry.
everybody.
everybody.
I was gonna do a countdown and then I was like, oh no, I gotta click too many buttons. So here we are.
Do a
Buttons,
countdown?
buttons.
Yeah, like a three, two, one. We're live.
All right, so
Right.
can everybody see us and hear us? Just if you can't, write something in the chat for us.
Right, please. Because I mean, we'll keep talking regardless. Don't worry. But
We had
But you
some
won't know
weird
what we
tech
say.
to begin this session, but this is indeed what's up with the Onyx Path.
Yeah,
woohoo, and apparently it was seamless. So there you go.
yeah. See, look, I did this last night. I ironed out all my kinks last night.
I thought I did too.
I
opened OBS,
understand.
I fixed everything.
Hi, welcome to What's Up with Onyx Path. I'm your not your host. That would be Rich probably. But I'm going to be your host and MC today, Danielle Lozon. So let me introduce everybody in case you don't know. Let's go around. Dixie, introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Dixie Cochran, she, her pronouns. I am an in-house developer at Onyx Path. I do editing and layout and writing and all kinds of things. And I have a good time, and it's fun. Eddie.
Hi, my name is Eddie Webb. My pronouns are he, him. I am one of the in-house developers at Onyx Path, responsible for a wide array of our games. I'm not going to list them all again because we'll probably go through them during the course of this panel. Rich.
Hey, Rich Thomas, founder and creative director of Onyx Path Publishing. How are you this morning?
Excellent. And I am Danielle Lozon. I am an in-house developer for Exalted and StoryPath Ultra. And yeah, so that's me. So we have a couple of things to talk about today in this panel. So we're going to talk some. And then I think at the very end, we're going to open up for questions.
Yes.
So what I would appreciate you doing so that I don't have to like keep scrolling every single time there's a question is if you could hold on to your questions in your brain, which I know is hard, is if you could, but if you can hold on to them or maybe just highlight them so I can pull them and drop them somewhere.
Right.
I will
that might
put them in
also
the
be
chat
good.
for you, Danielle. How about that?
How
How about I will take over that responsibility for you?
I mean, if you put them in the
Nice.
Zoom chat, I will not be able to look at them because if I resize my Zoom at all, it will fuck everything up.
I'll put them in the chat for me, and then I'll ask them to you.
Okay, that sounds good. Oh,
Teamwork.
I can also just watch and then put them in like a Google Doc. But anyway,
and then email it to everyone.
yes, and then email it. It'll be in an email.
What if I send it to you via AIM and then?
Oh my God, MIRC.
Put it up on a bulletin board
I'm gonna
hosted by
start
a major
texting.
university.
Skywriting,
All the
skywriting.
questions.
Yes. So yeah, so if you do ask a question, maybe try to highlight it or put like question in front of it.
No,
So
games.
put it in, question in all caps. You don't have to ask your question in all caps, but just something to flag it so we know that you're asking us a question and not just theoretically, questioning the void, because I question the void a lot.
I question the void a lot too, but she's a black cat that lives in my house who is loud, so.
I don't have one of those kind of voids. All right, so let's
Not too
talk
late.
about what's up with Onyx Path.
Is up with Onyx Path.
Okay. Well,
We have a whole list of things we're supposed to announce that we're announcing
Yeah, but
later
We are
today.
currently in
Which is a
the
rhythm for
early
these things,
banter
though.
bullet point.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. So we basically have been doing the What's Up with Onyx Path panel way back, way back, where it was the What's Up with White Wolf panel.
Yep.
Eddie and I were doing that. We were joined by many people over the years. Now we have some of our incredibly talented in-house people with Dixie and Danielle with us today. And
Not Eddie, though?
Well,
Well,
Eddie's been doing
I already
this
said
panel.
Eddie's name.
Yeah, but he's not a talented in-house person. is what I'm saying.
No,
Oh,
No, he's
that hack.
He's just Eddie.
he's that hack
knew
in-house person.
Everyone knows
Right.
Eddie.
no, I mean,
And if
I
you
knew that.
had ever gone to any of our convention time panels when we were going to live conventions and we're doing this panel, and saw me running in at the very end with my Starbucks cup,
Yeah.
here we are again.
Here we are again.
But today we're talking about having the What's Up with the Onyx Path panel here on the 5th Onyx Path virtual gaming convention. 5 years of doing these since we started way back in 2020.
Time flies.
Make sure all my twos and zeros were in the right sequence there.
Yep.
It's like weird version of binary code, and um, it is amazing. It is also our 13th year of doing business as Onyx Path, which has been phenomenal and fantastic, and it's been a surprise to me. But here we are, and what better year, the 13th year, the spooky, scary 13,
Spooky,
to
scary
announce and start to show and talk about our newest game, which is kind of becoming a thing like the Scottish play for actors. I don't think we can say the name of the new game without a technical glitch, a terrible disaster, something happening that is going to screw up what we're trying to do here. So it begins with a C and it ends with born. But I think we should just be careful until we get through this, and maybe we'll say it a lot of times right at the end so you know what we're talking about.
I will say that for a few weeks now, we've been having some design meetings about that game, and in Discord there's now a subject line you can add, and so for weeks now I've been doing various pronunciations of that game setting in preparation for this moment.
Right.
My personal favorite is Crust Barn, but
Crust
Right.
Barn. I love it.
So at the opening ceremonies last night, we let everybody know that the ash can for that game is now available on drive-through for purchase. Wanted again mention that an ash can, for people who have not been following us for the last year and a half, I think, since we did the first ash can for the World Below. An ash can, it was taken, Eddie, from.
I think ash cans were originally used by comic book publishers in order to print very limited, cheap runs of comics in order to secure copyright before they literally burned them when they were no longer in use. So they were never intended for sale initially.
Then it began to be used by comic book creators to get out some of their ideas and some of their panels and some of their character designs and stuff like that. Just to, hey, I'm working on this new comic. I'm putting it together, and here's a sneak preview. And the gaming industry kind of adopted that thinking and
Yep.
started saying it's a sneak preview, it's a teaser, it gives you bits of the thing. Sometimes it's a what we call a vertical slice, where it's just one. You're able to play this very limited thing with the rules that are in the ash can, just to give you a taste for some of the systems and some of the setting and some. So, and it's also very bare bones. There's very little art. The only reason that the World Below had art in it was because I had done a whole bunch of art previous to it,
Right.
and it was just like, hey, yeah, just throw that stuff in there. It's already done. But it's supposed to just basically get you familiar and interested in what's in there. So I know it's a new term for a bunch of people. What is this thing? It's not a quick start. It's not a jump start. It's an ash can. Comes before the actual thing itself, and it is pieces of it, but not the whole thing. So if you are looking at the ash can and you're like, well, wait a minute, it doesn't say anything about this, that, or that, you could put it in the errata, and the errata link, when you buy it, the little notice comes through from drive-through. It says you bought this thing, will also include the errata link. So that's where that is.
It's also currently a silver bestseller on drive-thru RPG,
Oh wow.
which has made me very happy.
Number one in the $5 or less PDF category.
Yeah.
So, but we will be going through the errata. We will be fine-tuning the ash can, because there's going to be multiple months before we get to the Kickstarter for the game that we're not mentioning right now. It begins with C and ends with Born, and that Kickstarter is going to be hopefully the entire month of October. We want to start on October 1. That is a Kickstarter permitting and their various timings and things like that.
Yep.
But that's the goal.
I will be in Germany.
What?
Fleeing from the repercussions of all this.
No, I will be going to Spiel in Essen. So
Eschenspiel.
I've always wanted to go to Eschenspiel. I hope you have fun.
Yeah.
I hope I have fun too,
It's
because
gigantic, I hear.
I hear it's gigantic and that there will be so many fucking board games I won't be able to contain my excitement.
Just
And-
go find Tom Muir and have him show you around, because
does he
you know
live-
that he will.
Tom, do you live
Yeah.
in Germany?
Yeah, Tom's
Yes.
German.
All right.
Yes.
Well, then be at Spiel. Come to the Cephalofair booth. Come play Gloomhaven, and then show me around your convention.
It's Tom's convention. Tom owns it all. Tom owns
Yes.
Nice that he has his own con. It
Yes,
just
Tom
makes it convenient.
Tom is the king of Germany. We're just gonna we're
It's
gonna
a
make that
Kaiser,
lore
isn't
right
it?
now.
it. Right.
Excellent. I'm gonna hold you to that, Tom. So,
Thank you, Zach, for gifting subs to people.
yay!
That's nice. Okay. So what else is going on? Well, what's up with Onyx Path? One of the things that has happened in the past year is that we have been working with a new printer for our traditionally printed stuff that usually comes out of Kickstarters in order to get even more books in stores. It is a ongoing process as we learn each other's ways and make sure that we're communicating properly. It is a printer that is on the other side of the world, so it tends to make things time-wise a little attenuated. But I have not yet received word, but we're expecting very soon, if not today, then on Monday, that this book, which is Exalted Essence Deluxe Edition, should be have been transported across the ocean, across the country to our Kickstarter fulfilling partners at Studio 2. So I know
Awesome.
people have been waiting a long time for this. Unfortunately, Essence got caught in exactly what I was just talking about with this weird stuff where we had to switch printers because the original printers have been so hit by the change in employment status during the COVID situation. But here we are. Hopefully, and we really are hoping that it will be a lot smoother as we move forward with we have about 5 or 6 books with them at various stages right now to get printed, and we have a good 5 or 6 coming that are going to be close enough very, very soon to send over there as well. So we'll be getting stuff back and into stores right now. The books that we have already printed that we have over at IPR Indie Press Revolution are on sale at some of them at very large discounts because it's been quite a while since we printed them, and we'd like to see them go a little bit more. And we also have a huge sale going on at Drive-Thru RPG and at Roll20 in the Roll20 marketplace for a bunch of the stuff that we've already gotten into VTT space. VTT being an area that we are going to continue to expand into in the coming year. That's one of the things that's up at Onyx Path is building a better VTT pipeline as we explore things. And that is a lot of that is not something that we have a lot of control over because the VTT pipeline is us and then all of this, which is getting it from our stuff to out at Roll20 and Foundry and Fantasy Grounds, all that stuff. So we're rolling, but the rolling is sometimes not something we can control. Things we can control. Who wants to start?
I'll start. Like Rich said, there's an ashcam for the game that apparently we're not talking the name of at this panel.
CB.
But there is a
Nurse
panel for Crass Baron later on, and where you not only talk about that, but also we'll have some follow-on discussion of our long-term plans for that. So there'll be more announcements related to that at that panel. So please go check that panel out. And
that is the next panel. So stay here after we're done for half an hour.
While we're into it.
And then we'll be over there.
I mean, probably don't just stay right here, but if you want to just stay right there,
stretch, use the bathroom, get water, whatever, and then come back.
Eat a power bar.
Yeah,
Right.
Or some mustard chips.
No,
I'm going to bring these up in every panel now.
Yeah,
yes.
mustard chips.
Mustard
Have you eaten one of those yet?
No, it's sealed stuff.
Oh,
yeah,
so crinkly.
You might take a bite into it and just flip over backwards, like.
I eat a bag of these like once a week. It's fine.
The mustard.
It's fine.
Oh.
I love
I
mustard.
love mustard.
I didn't say you had to hate mustard. That could just be really nasty
Could
mustard.
just be
No,
too
they're
much
really
mustard,
good.
Or
TM.
Yeah.
just powerful, too powerful.
Yeah.
Too powerful.
They're actually meant for you to put on a sandwich, so you have the crunch factor.
What?
In the
See,
mustard flavor.
that's cool. Yeah.
That is so phenomenal. Like, I love everything
Yeah.
about that.
That's why
Yeah,
they
I-
are sandwich chips.
Oh my god.
Nice.
Now we
Okay.
learned something. See, it's educational as well
Right,
as
right.
informative.
And now I'm hungry, so thank you for that.
Yes. My work here is done.
But anyway, aside from that, one of the other things that we will be talking about that's coming up soon is we are going to be doing. We've already done The World Below. We've already done At the Gates in terms of the crowdfunding for those, the ash cans for those. Those games are in progress. Those are both part of what we're calling the Earthbane cycle. We are going to talk pretty soon about our third game, which we're calling Monster Kingdoms, which is another chunk of the Earthbane cycle
The fantasy genre?
as a continuity is not the right word. Meta
Cycle.
cycle.
I
Yeah.
like to
I
think
call
of
it a
it.
cycle.
I like to think of it like Brandon Sanderson's Cosmere.
I haven't read that, so I don't know.
Everything's related, but the crossovers are minimal thus far,
Oh,
and will eventually get maximal. Like, there's different planets with different stories happening, but they're all in the same universe.
Right.
Right.
It's all the same universe, and there's some crossover, and there may even be some like worlds that are either like parallel dimensions of each other or in different timelines of each other or connected through some people can like world hop.
Yeah.
There's some like god type entities that can world hop. So they'll show up in more than one of the series. So they are connected, but the connections are extremely tenuous. And I don't think Brandon Sanderson will ever tell us what those connections are. So,
Oh no, I think it's all coming to a head eventually. But that's
well, I mean,
Yeah.
maybe.
Well,
I was thinking of it-
with Earthbane, we're either going to do it that way or the other way.
Yes.
Good.
One
We
of those
will
options.
either tell you or we won't.
Yeah.
Right.
Good.
Those are the only two options that we're going to discuss. I mean, there's
Yeah.
no other options
They're
besides those
liter-
two that we will ever consider.
Yes.
But Monster Kingdoms is a part of the cycle in where each of the different nations of the world are ruled by one species of monster, and the political intrigue that they have between them, as well as the violent conflicts that sometimes they have. That is something that Matthew Dawkins is starting to put together, and then at some point in time, I will glom onto that like a lamprey and follow him along in his wake as we work together on that. I have been excitedly shooting him visual references over the weekends of possible things we could look at.
Right.
So,
We'll talk more about that on the Earthbane panel.
Earthbane cycle. Yeah.
Mhm.
look at that.
I just pictured you as a terrible, terrible worm eel with like an eddy head, just like.
What?
Cyber eel.
Said he was gonna glom on like a lamprey.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Oh, like those like medieval marginalia where it's like a
Right, yes.
lamprey,
The
but it's
human
got a
face,
man's
yeah.
head.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was horrible.
100%.
It was a horrible mental image.
100%.
So good.
Now, Dee mentioned parallel worlds and universes and stuff like that. That's a nice little segue we could
Yeah.
do into Trinity Continuum, which, of course, the continuum is a whole bunch of parallel dimensional worlds that could or may not exist on a timeline, depending on how you want to do it. But we haven't really explored something that is completely off the timeline as yet. And I think that's where we're going to go next with it, because we do want to kind of, a little proof of concept. And that's going to be Trinity Continuum Steam Wars.
Yeah.
And that is a project that we're doing in collaboration with Larry Blameyer, who, if you've read and looked through any of the They Came From games, Larry is a writer of some of the funniest material in there, but also does a lot of the full page artwork, including the covers for several of them. They Came From Beneath the Sea and Cyclops Cave being the two, I think, covers that he did. And they're absolutely wonderful. Larry's been living in the world of Steam Wars for many, many years, and so it sounded very cool for us. But we will, again, as we say, we will go into more detail on that in the Treaties Continuum panel.
Indeed, absolutely. Speaking of parallel dimensions and whatever, there seems to be a running theme right now. I didn't realize this was kind of a weird thread through some of these announcements, but
Good job.
we are going to very soon be launching a crowdfunding campaign for another new Scion book, which is Mythic Shards.
Mythic Shards.
And Mythic Shards is a book about different kind of what-if scenarios for Scion. I don't remember off the top of my head what some of those are. If somebody else more familiar with it can help me out with that.
Where's Matthew when you need him? Because I
haven't
not
read
been.
it.
I haven't been
How
paying
many
attention
times
to
I've
that.
said that in this life?
Although
Right,
I think
yeah.
on the Scion panel, we'll be talking a lot more about that, especially
That's
the
true.
one with Hiromi.
Right. We have two panels, one of which is going to be talking as much about this as folks I think want to with Hirome. And then there's a second one, right, that is
Scion
about-
panel number 2.
number 2, which is more about how to deal with the various hero, demigod, god levels of how to relate those things together.
Yep.
I'm sure if you can't make the one, but you have a question that was more appropriate for number 1, you could ask it number 2 anyway.
Right, yeah.
I'm sure they
But
will.
if you're interested in like the Exalted alternate settings or the World Darkness alternate settings we've done over the years, this is a very similar thing for Scion. Like it's got lots of, like Eddie said, like what if scenarios. So worlds where Scions are enemies, I think, is one of them, where like, people perceive them as villains. There's a bunch of them though, and I don't know what they all are either.
Scions
yeah.
in
Because Matthew didn't join
space.
us.
Yes.
Let's all join in for the 1 minute shaming of Matthew.
Shame.
I don't know. If he just
Shame.
dropped it, it would have been shaming, but he wasn't listed to be on this panel. So
No.
it's,
There's still
believe
shaming.
he has a prior commitment.
I think
Nope,
I-
I'm still gonna shame him.
I will, however, have to clarify, since it's up in chat, that it is not Mythic Sharks, and there is no aquatic-based what-if version in Mythic Shards.
Why not? That sounds amazing.
Mythic sharks.
It's Shark Week every week.
Mythic shark do 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 do. Mythic
Oh,
shark do do
no!
do do.
No, I'm out. Goodbye.
Oh no! Please don't leave the Zoom chat. Just mute yourself or something.
No, I know.
I was going to go into the mythic sharknado.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
I want a Mythic
Sharknado.
Sharknado.
yeah. Very good.
All the various pictures of Tara Reid we could have in that is missing body parts and putting harpoons on instead, like Aquaman.
Like Aquaman.
I fucking love Sharknado.
That franchise is
This
wild.
is definitely a they came from scenario. They came from beneath
Oh,
the
yeah.
sea.
I want to run Mythic Sharks so they came from.
I mean,
I'm doing
They
it.
came
I'm
from
doing
the
it.
they came from the mythic sharks.
I mean, I know that Beneath the Sea is supposed to be like the kind of 50s, 60s, like,
Sure.
but Sharknado could absolutely happen
Oh, yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. 100%. 100%.
Also, Sharktopus. One of
Yeah.
the best sci-fi original movies.
Oh, I didn't even know that existed.
I didn't even
Wow.
know that existed, but I can't
What, are you
imagine.
channeling Mike Chaney right now?
I like sci-fi original movies. They're bad. They're fun to laugh at.
That they're yes,
And Sharktopus was fun.
just haven't.
Wow.
I haven't heard of Sharktopus.
No,
Well,
I've
now
actually
you all
watched
have
it,
to go
so
watch Sharktopus. I don't know where it's streaming, but I'm sure
I
it's
did
around.
watch it.
Literally, we have to. We're now compelled to.
I am
There's nothing stopping
compelled.
us.
There's something in my brain.
It came out in 2010.
Oh.
Oh, I'm sorry. It is also the first film in the Sharktopus franchise.
Oh,
There's
okay.
a franchise of Sharktopus?
Yeah. There's
Oh
a
my
sequel called Sharktopus versus Terracuda. It's a pterodactyl barracuda. And
Like you have.
Sharktopus versus whale wolf.
Whale
Wolf, yeah.
Does it
Wow.
the whale that only changes into a wolf at the full moon?
I haven't actually seen Whale Wolf. Now I have to see it. Sharktopus versus Whale Wolf came out during Sharknado Week on Sci-Fi in 2015.
Wow.
That
Amazing.
sounds correct.
This is the information
Amazing.
you all come to the What's Up with Onyx
That's
Path panel
what
to hear.
this is. What's up with Onyx Path?
Right. Right. What's up with
that
sharks?
Yep.
that
I have no segue
actually
for
is
you,
a
Danielle,
great
sorry.
segue.
No, it's not.
No,
It's
it
not.
is
Terrible.
because this infernal knowledge that Dixie has shared with us
Well
segues
done.
me directly into the announcement that the next fat splat for Exalted is going to be Infernals.
Yes.
Yes, that is what we are planning for the next one.
Yes. So we will be talking a little bit about that and our plans for it on the Exalted panel. So if you want to come check out me, myself, Monica, Elliot, and I think Terry tomorrow in the afternoon, then we will be talking about Exalted. Infernals. We'll also be talking a little bit about alchemicals and what's to come with that. Like give you some little teasers for that if you want to ask us questions. And then we'll also talk a little bit about the essence Yes, did I say something other than alchemicals?
No. You mentioned also alchemicals as you talking about.
No,
your spiel,
alchemicals is in the process. We
Right.
announced that last year, the turtle. So alchemicals is in the process of being written right now, and Infernals is essentially we are just now announcing Infernals. So
I mean, fans who are really engaged already know that was going to be coming next.
yeah, absolutely. But
Just confirming that as that's our plan.
yes,
Right. Yep.
and then we'll be able to talk a little bit about it. We'll also talk about the Essence Player's Guide. You can come ask Monica questions about that, and it'll be great to talk about. So I don't know how to get us to segue into our next.
Well, I was just
thing.
mentioning that
Eddie needs to mention something. How's that?
people have commented, Danielle, on how your lovely chair is obviously a dog bed.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. I was like, I want my so small story. You'll notice that like I have these beautiful wood bookshelves behind me. My walls, I don't know if you can see, my walls are green, like a very beautiful green. I spent a bunch of time working out like how to make my office feel a little more homey, a little more cozy, because I'm in here every single fucking day. And the result was bookshelves, beautiful walls, but then I wanted like a little reading nook so that I could sit down and maybe read a little, read a little or take a break from my office chair, my desk chair, to a little more comfy reading chair. And so it took a little bit, but I ordered this chair. It came in, and literally the day it came in, this dog was all over it. And I was like, hey, I need you to not be in that chair. And that happened for 3 days straight before I like left the room. I came back and he was just sleeping in the chair. There was nothing I could do about it.
He's out of it right now. If you want to jump back and
Right.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
steal it.
ownership.
Yeah, I'm just gonna steal this chair real quick. No, it's not. I'm not. Just do the panel from the chair back there.
So anyway, about
Right. I think next panel
what-
I'm gonna try to be in that chair the whole time.
with a smoking
Tonight on
jacket and a
Masterpiece
pipe.
Theater, we have a discussion on Curseborn.
Yes.
Oh shit!
You said it.
I said the word.
Fuck me.
But it was a parody version.
Panel over. We're done. Goodbye.
Oh man.
Next panel's gonna be really rough.
I have tempted fate one too many
Sure
times.
have.
So you're talking about dogs, eh, Eddie?
As
yes.
Danielle's dogs tried to expand their domain, we are also expanding the domain of the Realms of Pugmire. I got there in the end. Because I am going to pretty soon start working on outlining the next book of Realms of Pugmire. We've already done. Obviously, Realms of Pugmire Second Edition Core Rulebook is in progress. We have another book upcoming called Threats and Curs, which is our monster manual. And we'll talk about all of these at the Realms of Pugmire panel.
There were so many stat blocks in that book.
Yeah, yes.
There's so many
I know.
stat blocks in that book.
And someone had edited them all, and it was not me, thank God.
Who was it? Who was it, Eddie?
Was it? Oh, it was you. That's right, it was you.
No, it was super fun. Like I love monsters for Pugmire. That was really fun. All Pugmire monsters are good.
Nah,
Indeed.
we think folks are really get a kick out of this particular book because A, it's providing you with a lot of monsters,
Yep.
but also we decided to do it in a very retro style. Most of the book is done in very retro style, very reminiscent of the very first edition of the Monster Manual.
And as the dogs
The dogs are cheering.
They're
They're
so
like,
excited.
yeah.
Yeah, they're very excited.
Yeah.
that was cool. But the Curious Cats of Mao are also underway. But that does mean we're going to, and much like Thrusting Curves, one thing we're trying to do this year is experiment a little bit more. Like, for example, last issue, Pirates of Pugmire was an experiment that I was pretty happy with. Um, so now we're going to do something that's a new thing we're tentatively calling Expansion of the Realms. And Expansion of the Realms is one part player's guide and one part new material for guides.
By tentative, Eddie, you mean that's our placeholder. If anyone has a better title for it,
Right.
send it to Eddie. Let him know.
Right. I will just be deluged with dog puns because that is my life.
And
That
big
is
in
what
the doggos.
in Big in the Doggos, right? Realms of a Beginning. Um, so one half of the book is going to be stuff like talking more about Pugmire as a city, digging into
Are
that
you
a bit
done?
more, as well as other cities that we've never actually really touched in detail before, like Houndton and Mudtown. And also more playable options, including we're going to have reptiles, we're going to have birds, we're going to take them from Pirates Pugmire and expand on them. And
My
a
babies.
zillion people have asked, yes, the Badger tribes will actually be in this book as well as playable characters. And there's going to be an adventure path in the back. And again, I'll talk more about what my vision for that is in the Realms of Pugmire panel, but that is going to be kind of our next big
Okay.
support book for the realms.
Yay.
I just want to write a supplement now because my boyfriend and I have jokingly made the TV show Bridgerton into an anthropomorphic TV show called Badgerton. And and now I need to write a Canis Minor supplement about how to do Regency romance in the Badger tribes.
Yes, absolutely.
And call it
I will
Badgerton.
be fascinated to see how you pull that off. But I think those are all the
I think that's
major
about
announcements.
where we got to
Yeah.
on the fashion of the Realms of Pugmire. I think
Regency.
bunch of the cats were in fact wearing more Edwardian clothing. So,
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're like Renaissance Edwardian.
no, there's like if you look at Darcy Cat,
Oh, okay.
that kind of
I haven't seen the art
almost
for
like a
Curious
Les
Cats, so
Mis
Mm,
time frame
mhm.
for the coats and things like
cool.
that. So because
Yeah.
they're drawing from whatever they pulled up of human culture and stuff like that, and looking at it and going, huh, well, we should have something like that. Let's we can be that their haute cuisine, not haute cuisine, haute couture people are pouring through ancient documents to find out the latest fashion for the cat kingdoms.
When are they gonna discover Jenkos?
I don't know, but
I like
think
that
those
D is
doc
muted
boxes
right
are
now,
really
as far as I can tell.
uncomfortable.
No, I'm not muted.
Oh,
I was
I
just.
couldn't hear you at all.
That's because I wasn't making a noise. I was just speechless.
Oh.
It's just like, are you going there, Jenko's? Really?
I just picture a cat looking through like Delia's catalog from like 1997
Yes.
and being like, "I need a crushed velvet baby doll dress."
Yes.
I don't know how you feel about this.
I don't know that they would have the. Well, I mean, maybe they would. I don't know if they would have the materials to be able to do that right.
For crushed velvet?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't see why not. It's just a fabric.
Well, I mean, and that's actually part of the fun of the game is that like their ability to reconstruct things is pretty ad hoc. So like some things that you would think, oh, they should likely have this, and they don't, and other things that makes no sense for them to have, they do.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's sometimes like if crushed fabric makes sense because that's what you want the character to have, great. I suspect the cats probably have more access to that than any other species.
And they can
So.
go this all the time.
Because
Right,
they
exactly.
make little biscuits. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
It's
I just imagine the like dogs invent velvet and the cats are like, but what if?
Right.
Stop that.
So the Google's is telling me that to make crushed velvet, all you do is twist the fibers of the fabric while wet
Hmm.
and then press them to create a crushed or crinkled appearance.
Hmm.
Huh.
So
Somebody would
if they
have to
have,
accidentally do that, right?
yeah,
I love it. That's awesome.
It's my new fabric I've created.
Uh,
Haha.
uh,
Now,
and I'm seeing a bunch of people. I'm super glad y'all are excited. There's a whole bunch of questions in the chat, but I kind of reiterate. If we have time, we'll maybe hit some of the ones we're going through. But really, if you have more detailed questions about any of the announcements we've made today, it's really best to go to the various panels that covers them for a
hmm
couple of reasons. One, it allows more of the team to be able to weigh in on those. Like for example, we none of us can remember what's exactly in Mythic Shard, so we want to make sure you get that information directly from the people who
and
are working
it
on the
isn't
card.
that we don't have any idea at all. It's that we have so many dimensions in our heads
Right,
that
right.
Right.
if we say this is going to be in there and we just
And it's
kind of
not.
mix two things accidentally,
Right, exactly,
then
exactly
people are
right.
going to get uptight. The writers and Harumi will get uptight because we misrepresented what they've been working really hard on. So no,
Totally.
we're just not
And then
gonna
the other
accidentally step in that hole.
yeah, we
Mhm.
Right,
don't.
and the other reason is that with all of our panels do eventually make it to YouTube, and so when people are looking for information for this, if they couldn't make it to the convention this weekend, it's much easier for them if they could just go to the Pugmire panel or the Exalted panel and get all the information in that video.
Mhm.
So that's another reason why it's not that we're trying to delay this or annoy you. It's really because it is best for everyone involved if we can just really focus on those very specific questions inside those panels.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna spend a moment to put on my Matthew Dawkins hat, and
Oh, you're gonna wear the Matthew Dawkins hat today.
I
Okay.
am, and I'm going to
It is
say we
piratical.
we oh, can I affect a terrible British accent?
You can, but you will not.
I will not. Uh, I can affect a good British accent, but I'm not going to do that either. So
Okay.
instead, I'll be Southern. We're going to be doing, uh, no. Anyway, so the best way for you to show your support, other than giving us money, is to go to Drive Through RPG and rate and review the games that you have bought from us that you enjoy. So it takes a few seconds to rate. If you have time to leave a short review of the book, whatever it may be, something in it that you may enjoy, or a little descriptor of, what you think it's about. That really helps with visibility of the game, and it helps other users know that this is being not just purchased by other people, but enjoyed by other people.
Mhm.
Some people will look for ratings, highest rated, games in a certain genre. People will, absolutely are influenced by the reviews that are left by other users. And so if you could go rate, review, especially our newer games, the Curseborn. Oh my God, I said the name.
Uh-huh. Well,
Rich, Rich broke the
we're
seal. You're
heading
fine.
towards the end of this panel. If
Hi,
this thing
Rich.
gets hinky, yeah,
Um, so
I hate
if
nature so much.
the Seabone ash can, it is out for 24 hours. I think you have to own a product for 24 hours before you can rate and review it. So if you bought it yesterday, as soon as we dropped it, you can rate and review it this afternoon. And then this evening, afternoon, it will be evening, around 5 p.m. Or however late after 24 hours, you can review that. If you have the At the Gates ash can, if you have the World Below ash can, if you have any of the new Exalted products that just came out, Exigence, or the new Essence. Oh, the Essence Jumpstart isn't on drive-through yet. But maybe you can rate and review it, because that's how we sent it to backers. Anyway, if you can rate and review everything all the time, rate and review early, rate and review often,
Yeah.
it helps us out a whole lot. And it's an easy, free way for you to support us. All right, that is my Matthew Dawkins hat off.
Well done. Bravo.
Bravo. So I think we have 15 minutes left. So
Let's talk
did we
about.
ever settle on who was actually collecting questions?
I collected some questions.
Okay.
And if
Awesome.
you have any more questions, put them in the questions chat or whatever.
Put the questions in the questions and put the
If you
chat in the
have
chat.
any questions,
Allow
put them in the
myself to introduce
questions.
myself.
Yes. Allow me to introduce myself. All right.
The owl bear will answer questions.
So the first question that we had way earlier was if we can share, are we still using printers in the US or do we have any have an exclusive contract with the printer that we're using in China?
We don't have an exclusive contract. We have yet to find a printer in the US that can economically do the kind of printing that we need to have done.
Okay.
We would love it if there
Yeah.
if someone popped up and said, no, don't worry about it, we can do it. The only ones I found in the US are actually, I know this sounds a little underhanded, but they're actually not printers, they're POD printers. And they claim to be everything about the front end of what they're saying they could do for you sounds like a real traditional printer. And then you get down into the look at how they actually do the tech, it's POD. And we were not interested in that. So
All
it's
right.
that kind of world.
Yep.
Okay, next question. Will Matthew have a choice in developing They Came From Sci-Fi Pictures originals, or will he be forced to do it against his will?
Wait, I have a pitch to write. I'm gonna go.
It's always a combination with that with Matthew. It's a question of he's annoyed about something or he has a feeling that he can do a really good job with something. And you got to get it right in the sweet spot where he goes, yeah,
That's true.
okay, I'll do it.
To be really honest, though, like to actually take that question very seriously, you could use a combination of all that They Came From games to run any Sci-Fi Channel original movie.
Right.
Most of those movies were not actually original movies from Sci-Fi; they were direct-to-video, like bad movies that Sci-Fi purchased the rights
Yes.
to
Right.
show.
Right.
So all you really have to do is take They Came From Beneath the Sea and put a like 2005 filter on it. It'd be really, really, really easy. So if you, like me, think that movies like Mansquito are super, super fun, you can run them really easily using all of They Came From games as they are right now.
The templates,
yeah.
like the character types, they're interchangeable throughout all of the. If you could figure out a reason why a particular template would exist, or reskin it to be, instead of the aristocrat, it's a real rich guy,
Yeah.
a .com millionaire, whatever. They're all interchangeable. All the abilities work across the. They came
Spectrum.
from Spectrum, yeah.
Yep.
Also, I think you all need to know that the star of Sharktopus is Eric Roberts, Julia Roberts' brother.
Oh,
Who
nice.
played the
Amazing.
master on the.
He did, and actually has started playing the master in Big Finish too now. So
Yeah.
Oh,
I just wanted to let you know that's who's in Sharktopus. So.
cool.
Open the
Amazing.
eye.
All right. Next question. Are there plans for other StoryPath games getting official VTT support? Looking
Yes.
for Trinity's lack of it, will Curseborn also get ones? And the answer to that is we're trying to get VTT support for all of our StoryPath games.
Yeah.
We are.
So, yes.
indeed. But as Rich mentioned earlier, it's because the pipeline for making BTT is so completely different to our skill set. We've got to find the right partners and make sure that those things work out in the way that makes sense for everybody. So that's why it's been a challenge so far, but it's something that we are continuing to push in. I think even more aggressively pushing in.
Yes.
Absolutely.
We
Well,
are.
we're getting better. We're getting better relationships with people making it.
Yep.
Again, it's a process. If you're really good at making, VTT content, character sheets, and compendiums and all that sort of stuff, and you're doing that professionally, we're not the only people talking to you, and
Right.
so those companies have to feel they're in a good relationship. They have to feel that this is a positive thing for them, besides just, hey, we'll just pay you lots of money, because we do what we can, but there's only so many hours in the day.
All right. Next question. Is there anything coming up for the Crossroads continent?
Well, thank you for asking. I have a feeling that might have been one of my kids. Right now, I've been just dabbling with uh, going over some of the old drawings I made for some magic items, but painting them, in Photoshop, and that's going to be an ongoing process probably throughout the rest of this year. Just when I have a spare moment and I want to do some drawings, I sit down and I do that. But having just pretty much finished Threats and Curs with Eddie for
Hmm.
Pugmire and with Dixie's editing, and also the layout for No Gods, No Masters. Trying to help out the crew that Mike Cheney has to do layouts so that we can get more books out faster for y'all. And in the midst of that, sit down and doodle some stuff up. But working on what would you call it? The Seabone. Working on Seabone
Yeah,
um,
Seabone.
Crash Blaring.
from a, quite
Crotch
a while, but
burn.
really intensified in the last year. It's one of the reasons why I put Crossword Continent kind of on hiatus, just existing, and I'm just starting to give an actual play report um, in our on our forums, so people can catch that. Maybe I'll bring some of that stuff into a Discord or something as well, because we are doing a regular game now with some of my old crew as well as our kids. So
Mhm.
my kids and the kids of some of our friends, which is pretty interesting and fun and multi-generationally kind of cool to see the different styles of play and stuff like that. So, yeah, there's definitely going to be more Crossroads stuff. It's just that Curseborn was something that really involved an enormous amount of thinking and working together on in the course of the last year in particular. But now that's kind of getting to the point where it's just going to happen magically, wonderfully.
Okay, cool. Then the last question I have so far is about Trinity Continuum Steam Wars, about what kind of game it is. It is its own game. It is not an Aether supplement or supplement of
Correct.
anything. It's not a miniatures game. It is
Not yet.
not yet.
Yeah.
If we're gonna
Uh,
make something of ours into a miniatures game, I think Steam Wars would be like at the
Right.
top
And
of.
you can Google Larry Blameyer's Steam Wars and find out a little bit about it. It's
Yeah.
out there. He's been
Mhm.
yeah.
working on this for years and years and years. There is even a little animated bit.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a comic primarily, right? A web
It
comic.
was a comic, did an animated bit. It's just a world that he's been exploring for quite a while, and we're going to go in there and we're going to make it an RPG.
I put
So,
a link in the chat. It's literally steamwars.com.
well,
Yeah.
There
So
you
if
go.
you want to go look at the stuff that he's been working on,
sure.
And there will be
it's all there.
more information about it if you want to ask questions in the
Trinity Continuum.
Trinity
Yeah.
Continuum panel, which is later today, I think.
Mm.
Yeah.
I
I
believe so. I'm
I
on
will
it.
not I will not be on that panel because I am literally on the next three panels after this panel. I am in four back-to-back panels today, and
Why'd you
by
do that to yourself? Why?
because it's all the stuff that I'm working on. It's like
Why are you
what's
hating yourself? Why are you hating
yeah,
yourself?
pretty much.
She just keeps taking projects from people and working on them.
I
It's
do.
just it's rude, but what can you do? It's good stuff.
It's yeah, well, that's just I'm a masochist for too much work. Yeah, it's going to be Curseborn is the next panel, and I said it again, but that's okay because if we crash out now, we're almost done. I'm just gonna say it as much as I want. We're
We get
gonna
a slightly longer break between panels if you,
yeah,
if you crash
yes,
out now.
which I kind of want. So we're gonna be doing
Curse board.
yeah,
Okay,
Curseborn panel
Michael Keaton,
is
show up.
yes, Curseborn. Oh man, the new Beetlejuice looks good, and
Yeah.
It does.
he looks like he hasn't aged a day.
I
I'm
guess they made
sure
him
it's
look pretty fucking haggard in Beetlejuice.
yeah, I guess
This
yeah,
is true.
yeah. So anyway, Curseborn panel is coming up next at 12:30 Eastern, and then after that is I think the
Earthbane.
Earthbane panel at 2 o'clock Eastern. And then after that is the Story Path panel
Yep.
at 3:30 Eastern. And all of those are my games. So I'm
Yep.
on all of those panels.
I'm in two
I
of
had,
them with you.
Yes.
I had 3 back to back, and then I get a bit of break before Story Path Q&A. So
I just didn't do that to myself.
You
Right.
know,
I was
I
like,
didn't.
have I worked on all these games? Yes. Do I need to be on these panels? No.
I
I'm
did
good.
not
Yeah.
choose the scheduling of that back-to-back paneling, and in the future, I may say to, something up to the scheduler about making sure I don't have that kind of schedule again.
Right.
But it's okay. I don't have anything better to do today anyway. Uh, it's just a Saturday.
Yeah. Well,
Exactly.
it's a convention Saturday.
Yeah, yeah. So
It's an unconventional convention.
I didn't want to run. I
Uh,
didn't want to run any of my games to this con. I just wanted to be on panels. Uh,
I've also done that myself at conventions.
Yes.
It's like,
Uh-huh.
well, I'm just doing panels, so it'd be fine. Then it's like, oh my God, why did I do this to myself?
Right.
It happens every year.
right, it does. Oh yes, and where would be if we did not once more say that the Branch Writers Kickstarter is live right now.
Running right now.
Right now,
Go.
right now, go back it. There's going to be is there another panel or no? Y'all already did the
No,
panel.
We
had
did
that,
the
yeah.
Branch Riders panel this morning, which went very, very well. And if you want to know things about Branch Riders, that panel is obviously going to be on our Twitch VOD, and then it'll go out onto YouTube whenever we get to that.
Yeah.
Also,
Badonna Jack's in Jack in the
chat.
in the chat, so you can maybe pester him some and get some.
Or go to the hashtag Branch Writers channel on our Discord too.
Yes,
Jack and Doug, who is also one of the creators, is on our very often on our Discord.
Yep.
Replying to things, comments on the Kickstarter. You
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
jump right in there. It's a great game. We're really proud to have been able to help Badonna bring it this far. We like to bring it all the way to the end,
Yep.
to the goalposts. And if
Yeah.
you want, we're releasing. I think the backers got the first chapter, or the first part of the
Yep.
book,
First chapter, yeah.
just the other day. So
Yeah. So
it's you could see what's inside it.
So normally, and I know that this isn't like tax deductible, but normally we run like a charity and we often support the Badonna group when we run our charities.
Yep.
And so this Onyx Path Con, if you want to support the Badonna group, go back their Kickstarter.
And you get a game for it.
Yeah, you'll get a game for it. If you want something tax deductible, you can also go and support the Badonna group with a donation. And thank you, I guess that's Ian, for putting those links into the chat.
Thanks, Ian.
Yeah, so you please support the Badonna group. The work they're doing is amazing. It's really, really good. I near and dear to my heart. So, and I'm sure all of our hearts. This is why we've been working with them for so long.
Absolutely great.
And they're great, and their game is great. So please support it, even if you're just getting the PDF. Please.
And there is a Badonna group panel tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow morning.
Yep.
That we'll be sitting there talking about stuff, go into more details about the group itself, but also you can ask questions about Branch Riders because they will not mind.
No.
Jack in
No.
fact can go for probably 5-6 hours talking about Branch Riders if you don't stop him. So
And also, if you love the Badonna group and you want to hang out, Save Against Fear is in November 8th to 10th, I want to say. And that is the Badonna group's convention that they do for fundraising every year. And usually Rich and I are there.
Yeah.
At the minimum. And there could be
kind
other
of my
Onyx
local
Pathers
con
there.
at this point. Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
like it's an hour and a half north of me, so it's close to me too. So yeah, I love that con. It's great. It's small. It's chill. It's full of
A lot of
cool
great
people.
gaming goes on.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
much gaming all weekend. So come say hi. Like, we're telling you about it now in June so you can make your plans for November to go
Yes.
support Banana. And I bet you can
Too much
probably
planning.
play
So much.
branch riders if you're there.
Yes, probably.
Probably, yeah.
Oh,
Probably.
absolutely. It's been play tested at the Save convention for about 3 years back, I think. I don't know if they
Yeah.
were
Yeah.
even play
Nice.
testing concepts before that, to be honest.
Nice, nice.
So since we got a couple minutes left, I'll just kind of quickly recap for people who came in late. We have announced several projects. If you want to know more information about them, you can go to respective panels and ask there. Obviously, Curseborn is our huge announcements. We'll be talking more about that in 30 minutes, so stay here for more information on
Yeah.
that.
We'll all
the
be back
Earthbane-
here.
Yes. For the Earthbane cycle, we've announced the third game in the Earthbane cycle, which is Monster Kingdoms, and you can find out more about that at the Earthbane panel. For the Trinity Continuum, we've announced a new game for Trinity Continuum, which is Steam Wars, done by Larry Blamire. And again, find out more about that at the Trinity panel. Scion, very soon we will be having a crowdfunding campaign for the next supplement, which is Mythic Shards, which is our What If book for Scion. For Exalted, after Alchemicals, we'll be doing Infernals. That is the next that splat book for Exalted. So that will be going into process of outlining soon. And then finally, the next big book for Realms of Pugmire is tentatively called Expansion of the Realms, Embiggening the Doggos, whatever you wish, which is going to be our player's guide / more setting material for the dogs in the game. Please rate and review our games. Please enjoy the panels. Spay and neuter your pets. I think that's everything.
Definitely spay and neuter your pets. We don't say
Yes.
that enough on
Yes.
panels.
Yes.
And if there was any games that you're a fan of that we didn't have a chance to talk about or that we haven't said anything about, please stay in touch with us on social media. We love all of our games. There's none of them that we despise, hate, don't want to deal with, anything like that. Sometimes we have done what we want to do with them. Sometimes we're letting them sit to see what happens next, to see what kind of creative things come out of this. We don't like to just grind through these things. That was an old publishing model, and I really didn't want to do that with Onyx. And sometimes licenses change and expire.
Yep.
And so, there's things that we've done what we're going to do with them.
Yep. Yes, so that's it for our panel. We're like 30 seconds over, so I'm going to go ahead and sign us out. But everybody, if you want to learn more about Curseborn, then come back in 30 minutes.
Curseborn.
See you in 30 minutes.
All right.
Bye,
Bye
everybody.
everyone.
Bye.